Colby Covington is now 0-3 in undisputed UFC welterweight title fights after suffering a unanimous decision loss to Leon Edwards in the UFC 296 headliner. What can you really say? This was not a great performance by Covington by any stretch of the imagination. Very minimal success, very minimal damage inflicted on Edwards, and just overall kind of a puzzling performance by him. After the first couple rounds, it seemed quite confusing what he was doing, and he didn't really change the game plan, change the narrative until the fifth round when he got a takedown and some top control, but at that point it was too little too late, never really threatened for a finish, and now he suffers another defeat. Covington handled himself, I guess as you would expect in the aftermath of this fight. He says he thought he won. He immediately looked forward to the next performance, said he wants to return soon, be active, and he called out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for a showdown in 2024, saying that he has some beef with him, probably the first person who has ever had beef with Wonderboy Thompson, but he feels that Wonderboy picking against him in fights and saying certain things has some sort of rivalry between them, and he wants to fight him. Understandable why, given how Wonderboy's losses in recent years have unfolded, starting to struggle with the wrestling, with the takedown defense at age 40. We saw that on the same card in his loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov, but I don't think it's the worst fight in the world. If you are Wonderboy Thompson, you look at that, look at the rankings, feel a win over Covington puts you right back in that conversation, and at 40 plus years old, he has no time to waste as far as trying to make himself a relevant title contender. So if you're Wonderboy, although it seems like a horrible style matchup for you, I think you go for that and try to look at this performance, see the places you can outstrike Covington and the places you can stop his takedowns, and maybe feel fairly confident that if a similar version of this Colby Covington shows up, you can win that fight. And for Covington, of course, if the opposite of that comes through and he is sharp on his takedowns and he's able to do what he does best, that is a probably pretty winnable fight for him, easy fight for him, you could almost call it, and I think it makes sense. Both these guys, in my opinion, right now, not in the title picture. Wonderboy, as we said, late in his career, more losses than wins in recent years, and for Covington, of course, being 0-3, given this fight, do not want to see him rematching Edwards at any point soon. He'd need a nice run of victories to get back in that conversation, so put these two guys, well-known members of this division, against each other in a fight that has meaning in the division but not significant implications on the title picture. So I think, love him or hate him, Covington's call out quite on point in the aftermath of UFC 296, and I think you book that fight with Wonderboy in 2024.